Become a patron at www.patreon.com/Golden Era Bookworm for hard to find books, scans of rare photos, and articles on the Golden Era of bodybuilding. Hi everybody, Golden Era Bookworm here. Today I'd like to address a topic that seems to come up a lot when I talk about how to develop strength or gaining more muscular size using Silver Era methods. I've presented in many videos the different methods used in the Silver Era to gain strength and size, but never in a logical order that you as a lifter can adopt and follow. I was inspired to make this video based on the teachings of the Silver Era weightlifting greats, in particular Louis Abel, who clearly explained in his booklet called The Training Programs of Louis Abel as to the simple and logical approach to gaining strength for the purpose of getting massive. Therefore, this video applies only to those that wish to maximize their genetic potential. The method, although simple in approach, is brutally hard and is truly reserved for the beast lurking within all of us men. I hope with this video to also put an end to the ignorant comments of certain people who attribute such transformations, as shown here of John Grimmick, to the use of anabolic steroids. I hope to educate these narrow-minded people that exceptional transformations are truly possible, but only when exceptional effort is put forth. Now, the most important decision for you, the viewer, is to understand your muscle building journey. You need to ask yourself a very important question. Do you wish to tone up and develop a healthy looking physique? And if that's so, that's great, but this video is not necessarily for you. It would be more recommended that you follow a Silver Era typical 3 times a week full body routine, like the ones of Steve Reeves, for example. And if you've been blessed with excellent genetics like Reeves was, you will develop a fantastic physique. Understand though that people that simply wish to tone up are working with their skeletal structure and current foundation of strength and no more. And therefore only a certain amount of musculature can be built and sustained on this current skeletal frame. However, it has not been maximized, and this is very important to understand. And this is where the second question comes into consideration. Do you wish to get as massive as possible using natural methods? Do you wish to achieve your maximum genetic potential? If so, then please continue to listen and watch. The most important principle from the Silver Era for those wishing to maximize their muscular size was to work from the ground up. That is, to build strength from the muscles that make up the foundation of our bodies. And these are, of course, the largest muscles of the body, namely the legs and the back. After these are built, of course, the rest of the smaller muscles have a stronger foundation to build themselves upon. This makes perfect sense, although it is a principle that is not necessarily practiced these days. Understand that the organism is always seeking balance. It's called homeostasis, proportion, so to speak. Why, therefore, have excessive 20-inch arms if the legs can't carry this excess weight? If they won't be able to handle it, why would your body support 20-inch arms? It doesn't make any sense. Or why, you could also question, have a 50-inch chest if the lungs and heart or the rib cage were not or are not strong enough to support such a massive musculature on your rib cage. It just doesn't make sense. So these logical considerations must take place in your mind to understand how the body can increase in size. All you got to do is just watch a child grow, and you will see that their body grows in proportion, especially to the length and the size of their legs. The larger the legs are, the larger the upper body grows. It just follows the growth of this particular pattern. It's just the way it is. It's common sense. Now, bulking up is a common method of gaining overall size, but better still is to specialize, because bulking up can lead to plateauing very quickly, especially when you have to combine too many power movements at the same time. Now, before I talk about the following specialization phases, which are given in a particular order and should be followed, I'd also like to relay some information from the Silver Era legends, a recommendation actually, and that is, with any type of specialization, it is very important to understand that working out on the other body parts must be reduced or even avoided. And yes, it means that one may lose a little size in these areas, but once the foundation of strength is created during that specialization phase, these areas will come back, those neglected that is, will come back bigger and stronger than ever. And so when specializing in the following body parts, the cycle can be performed, or the program can be performed for any number of weeks, but at least for 1 to 2 months. Now there are some golden rules that are set out by the Silver Era legends, and these are as follows. The first is that the legs and hips must be specialized in first. Now why the legs and hips? Well, it's very simple. These muscle groups serve as the absolute foundation of strength in our bodies. Working the legs causes the largest growth spurt in humans and leads to a rapid increase in body weight. And one of the best methods that I've already talked about several times in actually increasing your foundation of strength is the breathing squat. The breathing squat actually carries on to the next body part, which should be specialized in, and that is the chest and back. So we're talking first legs and hips, followed by then chest and back. Once the legs are made stronger, the capacity of the vital organs and the rib cage should be increased. Again, these are the recommendations of the Silver Era legends. And by increasing the capacity of the vital organs and your rib cage, this will lead to an increase in your metabolism, allowing the upper body to support more muscle. And for this reason, an excellent exercise, for example, such as the pullover and press, again I've mentioned this in the previous video, can be added to increase the size and strength of the chest and back musculature. Thirdly, understanding that the shoulder girdle is attached to the rib box. Working on the shoulders is then the next logical step. Having a stronger foundation in the legs and back also means that this increase in our foundation, our foundational strength, and our increase in our power can be now transferred onto the shoulder girdle. Therefore, adopting weightlifting exercises such as the clean and jerk, the snatch, the two hands press and odd lifts, which allow the transfer of our increased power from our legs onto our upper body is very important now, and in particular to our shoulders and arms. So finally, of course, the arms can now be worked, seeing that the arms are obviously connected to the shoulder girdle, which has been strengthened through the strengthening, of course, previously of the chest and the back and the legs. Now the arms can be worked. At last, presses, curls, and heavy rows are the order of the day. And this method, which probably takes about 6 to 8 months, this total program, should reward you with a more stronger and more massive physique. For those that have actually tried such programs and have reached a plateau, understand that plateaus in growth usually go side by side with a plateau in strength, and therefore this is highly dependent on your skeletal frame. And in order to surpass such plateaus, you must understand that the skeletal foundation to which your muscles are built on, they need to be increased. And the best way to actually do this is using techniques I've mentioned before, such as heavy support training and partial repetitions with very heavy weight. The heavier the weight, of course, more than what your normal body can handle in movement, therefore the use of partial reps and heavy support training need to be used. If you use such heavy weights, it's going to mainly affect your structure, not so much your muscles. It's going to affect your bones and increase the density. It's going to increase the strength of your joints, so your tendons and your ligaments. And once your skeletal foundation is strengthened using these heavy and specialized techniques, you can go back and try another specialization cycle as the one mentioned earlier, because your capacity of building muscle will now be much greater with your skeletal foundation being much stronger. Now the end result would follow that once you try such a program, which takes about 6 to 8 months, of specializing first in your legs and hips, then in your chest and back, then your shoulder girdle and arms, you could transition back into bodybuilding and really see what effect all this increasing strength and muscle mass has had on your overall physique. And so we're talking about now more isolation movements such as shaping and symmetry and working out on defining your physique. So these techniques can now be refocused again, just to see the overall effect on your physique. And basically what you've essentially done is build up your structure, build up your foundation, and now you can chisel away at it like an artist. So yeah, basically that's how you would go back full circle into bodybuilding after having specialized in strengthening the whole physique. Now, if you're interested in learning more about these silver era methods of gaining strength and bulk, I highly recommend the training programs of Louis Abel, as well as strength and bulk training for weightlifters and bodybuilders, written by Reg Park, both available on my website www.goldenerabookworm.com. So I hope you've enjoyed this video on how to maximize your genetic potential. And as I mentioned earlier, this video is truly reserved for those people that really want to gain as much muscle on their frame as possible using natural methods. And I'll leave you with this quote from Louis Abel, from his actual booklet, The Training Programs of Louis Abel. It really does reflect the blood and guts approach that these guys had to training back then. Many of our best lifters work to the point of nausea time and time again. I have worked so hard on various occasions I had to vomit. You simply do not become exceptional unless you put forth the effort. Function makes structure. You must sweat blood to grow. Man, I mean, these words should resonate. They should send shivers down your spine. They definitely do to me. And that's what these men were made of. Understand that to truly, as he says, to truly become exceptional, you must put the effort. And it is not easy. It is brutally hard. It is brutally hard. But the rewards speak for themselves. Hope you've enjoyed watching the video. If you have, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't to the Golden Era Bookworm. Leave me a comment and thank you for watching. If you'd like to support my work, please donate via PayPal or become a patron. And as I mentioned earlier, you can check out my website for courses and books from the bronze, silver and golden era of bodybuilding. Hope you liked the video. This is the Golden Era Bookworm. Bye for now.
Hi everybody, I just want to recommend this phenomenal book, Vince's Secret Locker, volume number 2 by Carl Coyne. I've been looking at this for about 4 weeks and I can't put it down. If you get a chance, check it out. He also has a part 1 that I highly recommend also. Vince was the trainer to the stars and had an amazing, interesting gym that today there's still not equipment like it around. It was all made out of wood. He'll be on our radio show coming up probably in the next couple weeks or so. Have a great day, and again, highly recommend this book.